It's more possible than ever to become a global influence. I didn't just build a six-figure business by settling down. I built it whilst packing my life into suitcases, crossing borders, and learning how to influence at a great scale. When nothing around you is familiar, six countries, different cultures, different time zone, different challenges, and still consistent growth, consistent clients, consistent results can be tough. Today, I'm going to be breaking down how I did it, and more importantly, what it taught me about influence, identity, and leadership. I'm so excited to talk about this because I remember when I first started my business at 17 years old, the idea of living in another country, living in different parts of the world. I'm from Australia. I've been living outside of Australia since I was 23. I'm about to be 26. And the reality of, yeah, living in another area, a different part of the world, was so exciting when I first started my business at 17. I'd seen so many other people become coaches, become online entrepreneurs, and started living in dream-like destinations, whether it was Bali, Thailand, Fiji, so many places. And from beginning that journey, there's been so many different things that have changed about how I see the world, what I believe about what we can do as human beings and just surviving outside my hometown of Melbourne. Is it possible? Can I do it? And I've learned that the answer is yes. And so I want to unpack that today, unpack some really, really cool stuff that I've learned along the way. And that's really, really cool. And so why I chose a global life, it wasn't about travel. It was about designing a life intentionally, internationally. It's freedom without structure is chaos. Structure with freedom is a way to really access the life we love. And so it's about creating the global lifestyle from a place that feels really, really great. And even so, I've been traveling for quite some time now. In the last 12 months, I lived in over six countries and made over six figures. And the way we did that, the way we got there was, yeah, not just by sitting on the beach, sipping on wonderful cocktails and not getting stuff done. It's taken a lot of hard work by myself, my partner, my team to really deliver and serve, support our clients to do really, really great things. And I think that idea that so many people can see their lives as, oh, this like fantasy like experience. It's just not real. When we want to live internationally, we want to live around the world and operate a business, and even just operate a business in general, we've got to take massive action. And so, yeah, going to places like Bali, Thailand, Fiji, and just sitting down doing nothing, will you won't be there for long. So I've got a few dot points here that I want to unpack. Let me get to them. Here we go. And so a big myth that's out there is I'll travel once I make it. And so that was a huge thing that I would tell myself, particularly when I was working my corporate job at one of Australia's biggest coaching schools and business schools. I would tell myself, yeah, one day I'll travel. One day I'll travel. I remember in 2023, there was a big disruption in my personal world. And I told myself, I'm going to go to Bali. And when I was in Bali, I was still working. And it taught me that being overseas, living life on more on my terms, and still getting work done is possible. Not only possible, something I really love and enjoy. It's so nice to be in the beautiful hot sun, smash out 6, 8, sometimes even 12 hours of work, and then go enjoy myself. And so in 2023, I really fell in love with that idea. And then I noticed 12 months before that, I always told myself, yeah, I got to make it to six figures in my business before I do that. And my reality at that moment, when I went to Bali and learned I didn't need to, I could keep my job, work remotely, and work on my business at the same time. I felt so, so lucky. And after COVID, after that period, remote working and working from home became accessible for so many of us. Getting remote work is so, so possible. And so not only just running your own business, even if it's working for another company, we can still go and access different parts of the world and be where we really love and continue to work and do the things that we're good at and that we're already doing. And so if you've got a position right now that you could go remote, but you're staying in the same area, but you'd love to live this life somewhere else in a different part of the world, I want to ask, what's stopping you? Because having this myth in our mind saying, I'll travel once I make it, once I get all my ducks in line, might be too late. And it's a myth. We don't have to. The reality is we can go live life on our terms. So if you could right now, where would you like to go? Let me know somehow. So another point I want to talk about is choosing growth environments over comforts. And so this is really, really big. Now, when I first moved to Bali, going and eating lunch was about $3. There were some places I could find a wonderful, yummy meal, a nice drink for about $3. And me and my buddy, when I first moved to Bali, I moved here with a friend of mine, and we would go to this place and it cost $6 for both of us to eat. And that's Australian dollars. So it's like, what is it? It's like $4.50 US, something like that, $4 US. It's crazy. So the affordability of some places is remarkable. And so if you've got a side hustle and you've got your main job and you can work remotely and you can go live in a country that's much more affordable for you, this is going to allow you and your business to grow more and more and more. And so even if you're maybe starting a business and you're at 2 to 3K per month, there are some places in the world that definitely is affordable for you. You can rent there, you can eat there, and still have money left over to you put on your marketing. Start putting your services out there. Because there's some places in the world. When I was living in Melbourne, I was going into debt just living. And it was crazy. I couldn't spend any money on my business and marketing my services. And so going to places like this, going out there and finding parts of the world that are much more affordable for you can help your business and your growth expand like drastically. Now we have, yeah, a bunch of money in the savings that we can dedicate towards marketing, and that's fantastic for our business growth. Next, I want to talk about how discomfort accelerated maturity. So, a big thing here is when I was outside of my norm, moving out of the comforts of Melbourne, how I know everything rocks and rolls. I moved to Bali and I've been to Spain, I've been to Japan, I've been to Thailand, I've been to so many different spots and I've had to learn the language and the culture of where I am. And those challenges, those differences have helped me grow as a human being. I now know how to connect with people in their countries so much more deeply. I also know so much more about the world and how it's operating. It's so wonderful to see things firsthand rather than just on a phone like so many of us do. Now, technology is great, and using our biology, our eyes, our nose, our ears to really check into a place with our senses. It's truly remarkable and such a special experience. So to be able to do this, setting up our life where we're not just staying in our comfortable home, we're exploring, we're going on adventures to really get to know different places, that discomfort helps us grow as human beings hugely. Next, I want to talk about living first forced clarity instead of procrastination. I love this topic. It's such a powerful topic because so many of us, particularly when we're wanting to succeed in business and just beforehand, when we haven't maybe quite made it yet, taking risks and putting ourselves out there is a big deal. And even just the risk alone of saying, I'm going to commit to this, it's a big deal. And if we're genuinely committed to making that happen, because so many of us who start the journey procrastinate, postpone, and never get there. But the people who truly make it put themselves out there. They take risks. And in that, what I noticed when I first decided to move to Bali was I'm going to need to succeed. I've got a little bit of steady income and I've got some cash behind me, but I need to pull this off or I will not, I won't be able to live here. I can't just go down to the Coles, the supermarket, the local retail shopping center, and just get a job. I can't do that here in Bali. I must succeed online. And by taking that risk, taking that leap of faith, my mind had to organize itself to find a way to succeed. And I did. And so when we take those risks, when we put ourselves out there, we're more aligned with needing to find a way. When we're in the comfort of our home, we can kind of just, yeah, put it off. Say, oh, I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it later. When we're in an environment where we cannot do that, we must act now. It is magical to see what happens. Like that's why, like sometimes I don't like having savings. I don't like building it up. I just like wanting to spend my money sometimes and get a bit scared. Now we're doing really well at the start of 2026. We've got a nice big juicy chunk of savings, which feels really good to have that behind us after doing a tremendous year. And part of me just wants to spend it all. So we have that uncomfortability with money and just go, oh shit, I need to act now. And so instead of maybe putting myself in a detrimental position, I'm just going to feel and act like I am and go after it anyway and have the discipline to go towards what I need to do and earning more money, doing more great things, serving more people. So a prompt you can ask yourself right now is what am I running towards, not away from? And that's why going to a different environment really helps you. Now I want to talk about how each country changed the way I thought. Different cultures and different mirrors. Now, something that from becoming a speaker, like from 17 years old, I just started doing Facebook Lives all the time, almost every day. And I was just constantly trying to express myself. You might notice I explain something over and over again sometimes. It's part of doing what I do, being a trainer and a mentor, guiding people, explaining myself consistently in different ways to make the message land. It's something I got to do. And if parents will know this, I'm not a parent yet, and I'm excited to be because I've been doing the training of saying the same thing over and over again and trusting that it lands. It's what we've got to do to teach people because some people hear something and it goes out the other ear. And some people hear it and it's like, hey, that was really great. And so we've got to make sure our message lands. And so by being in different cultures, sometimes being somebody who's speaking on stage, talking about different ideas and concepts, I've gone a little bit too far with explaining myself and trying to use big words. And I've noticed by going into different countries, particularly that might not speak English that well, I've learned to really simply express what I'm saying, which has been a really great growth area for me. Slowing down, considering my words, simplifying things. I remember, I don't know what scientist it was, it might have been Einstein, but he said if you can't explain something to like a 6-year-old, you don't know it enough yourself. And so when we're communicating, being able to, yes, be able to expand and talk about things in such a complicated way is a great skill. And the ability to simplify things and make things in real nice bite-sized chunk for so many people to understand is also so powerful as well. So being around people that didn't speak that well English, speak English that well, like myself, it helped me grow as somebody who wants to communicate with people through speech, and also helped me learn so many new words. Like like the word in Indonesian for crazy is gila. I love saying it. And how you say not good, tidak bagus. I love it. It's so much fun. And my partner, who's from Japan, I remember when I was 6 to 12 years old, I was learning Japanese. And now I know so much more Japanese. I'm on day 300 and what am I at? 311 on Duolingo. Hell yeah. And I've been able to expand my communication with Japanese hugely. We've just got back from Japan. We spent some time in there in December and January. And it was so wonderful to notice when I first went to Japan a year ago to communicate with their family, I knew very little. And this time I got to really connect more and more and more. And I'm so excited each year as we go back, I get to connect deeper with them. And so different cultures is going to teach us different languages, and then seeing the world through the lens of that language, that's really cool too. So cle where I noticed my habits clearly for the first time. That's a big deal. And so something about going to different countries is there's different rules, there's different um, things available. And so what we're so used to and accustomed to having in our world might not be there. Like a big thing for me that I'm doing my best to get over all the time is having like sugary lollies. Has been a big thing. And when I first went to Indonesia, the normal lollies I'd like to have weren't here. And I was trying to practice eating these really sugar-free lollies that I really liked in Australia. I was like, yes, finally. I can have good lollies, not bad lollies. And then they weren't here. And they jumped back on the normal lollies. I got caught in it. So this is not so good of a bad habit. But I've found them again. I'm in Bali again now. And I've found the no sugar lollies. I'm like, hell yeah. I can practice a better version of a bad habit. And so the habits that we're so used to and how we can just click them in different ways, or how we can start trying on new habits in different areas, start doing different things. It's a wonderful thing. It's helping us grow. What surprised me about myself as I've explored different countries is my resourcefulness and the feeling of being a fish out of water. I've noticed the more and more I've traveled, the different countries I've gone to, that's lessened. I've been able to feel really, really cool and really calm as I explore different areas. But to be fair, we were in Vietnam just recently, and we got there, and some guy tried to scam us for a car. I lost my shit a little bit. And then eventually we just clicked into gear. We rented a bike and we were driving on the right side of the road, which was crazy, but really, really cool. And what surprised me is eventually it's wonderful to notice how we click in, we attune ourselves, we adapt to the environment we're in. And quickly I got to learn how to drive on the right side of the road. Turning left is still freaking terrifying, but we made it happen. And so the skill of just being in a different place and the skill of adaptability, bringing on change and finding a way, that surprised me. And then noticing how, as you spend more and more time somewhere, how you establish your network, how you establish the people who support you do the things you need to do. Like as we got back in Bali, just knowing our favorite spots to go to eat wonderful food and get the yummies that we like. Or quickly we needed a bike, so boom, I've got my guy, he drops off the bike, bam, it's in my hands. Having to the gyms that we like to go to, boom, I want to go here, I'm going to go here, bam, I can start working out and exercising. What surprised me about myself is how quickly we can tap into the things we want to be doing and learn about this new environment. And that alone, the skill of doing that, um, I've noticed how there's a big difference. I don't feel helpless when I go somewhere or over-reliant on AI or Google to find my way. I know how to search for it myself. It's really, really cool. How environment exposes identity gaps. That's a huge question, huge topic. And so a big thing for me, particularly in the endeavor of business, was when we went to Barcelona, I noticed a big thing that I haven't cared enough about was like legitimacy of my business. And what I mean by that is actually setting up all the registration, the tax side of things, and having everything like really officially taken care of. And a big reason why I couldn't continue to live in Barcelona, I lived there for how long did we live in Barcelona, hun? Was it 90 days or 90 days? We couldn't extend past 90 days. And so we lived there for 3 months, Hannah and I. And what I noticed is why we couldn't continue is because a lot of the different things for my business wasn't set up. I hadn't got all these checks that I needed to do back in Australia, and little was done about getting the legit things sorted. And so we left Barcelona, we came back to Bali, and it was in that moment I was like, I want to be have all my stuff taken care of when it comes to the legitimacy of my business. I remember I watched a guy once, he said like, don't worry about it, don't worry until you hit $1 million. And then I've just realized how that just it's not sustainable, it's not resourceful to do that. And so when we moved to Bali, we set up our LLC in the state of Delaware, USA, which was the best options for us tax-wise and location-wise. And all we used is, if you know the processing platform Stripe, if you're a business owner, I trust you do. That's got a thing called Stripe Atlas, and you pay 500 US dollars, and it sets up all the things. And we have a legitimate LLC. We've got our tax file number. We've got everything set up now, and we're doing everything really, really well, processing all our payments through that and under that entity, the Global Influence LLC, and that's awesome. It feels so good to have the legitimate side of things taken care of. Like I'm really doing this. I'm committed to this movement, this business. For years, I was like, I don't care about that. I just care about doing my services, doing my coaching. The longer we postpone that side of things, the more restrictive we become. And not only that, the more potential danger we put our service in and our clients in. So it's important to be responsible and take care of those things because we don't know how that can limit us, particularly when exploring overseas. Like, I had to leave Spain. I couldn't go back to Europe unless I got those things sorted out. And so now, if we want to do that, we can with the right processes and the right procedures. So when we go to different places, we see how we are showing up really well and also where the gaps are. And so here's a cool topic. The moment I realized location wasn't the problem. And so there's kind of two sides to the coin there. There's I remember when being in Australia, there was so much I blamed Australia or Melbourne or my suburb for things that weren't going well in my world or things that I wasn't showing up enough for. That was a really big thing. Like whether it's going to the gym, no matter where you are, it's available. You can go. There are gyms. And so if you're not going, that's not on the environment. That's on you. That's on us. For business, I used to blame the area I was in, particularly with I don't know why in Australia when it was such a booming place, but I just told myself it didn't ex there was no people here that wanted to hang out with me and do good things. It's bullshit. Well, I went overseas, I've attracted more Australians to my business now. It's interesting because I had no excuses there. Like I said earlier, I had took the leap of faith. I had to find a way. I started connecting with people, started reaching out. And funnily enough, I connected with more Australian clients now than I did when I lived in Australia. It's crazy. Time zones, that's a big one. I'm not blaming time zones anymore. Like, oh my God, I can't make it because I'm not in the right time. No, make the time, find the time, do what's necessary. Oh, that's a big one. Wi-Fi. Finding a way for Wi-Fi, whether it's on your phone, like all of our phones now are personal hotspots. Essentially, they're mini Wi-Fi routers. We can find a way to connect. And oh my God, I can't connect on video call right now. Do a voice call. Do what it takes. Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp calls, they're all available. We can start connecting with individuals, making a difference, providing a service, start consulting. We can do it from anywhere in the world. All it takes is a phone call. Or traveling. Okay, I'm going away. That's all good. I'm still going to deliver the result. How can I do that more sustainably? Now that we have a team, we can do that wherever we're going. We go, okay, you need something done? That's okay. Hey, team, can you make sure this is done for this person? So setting up the business in the right way for you to be able to live the life you want is very, very important. And exploring, traveling helps us do that more and more. So our system is less dependent on us. When we can create automation within our service where we can serve amazing people and get paid for it, that is a very, very powerful thing. I'm going to leave it at that. I was going to add to it, but no. Hell yeah. It's a very, very powerful thing. So, oh, this is nice. The internal shift from this is hard to this is my responsibility. I remember when I went from being in my business full time, from having my mentoring and facilitator job and doing business part time. Remember when I decided to make the jump, take the leap. My beliefs about my business was it will be hard to do that full time. And I would tell myself excuses like, oh, I'm not ready yet. And when I took the leap, I was very grateful to have a conversation with the owner of the school I was working for. And they said to me that it's time and you got this. And he backed me. I was really glad to have support like that in my corner. Like if you don't have mentors, you don't have guides, you don't have people who truly care about your growth in your corner, pushing you, challenging you, you simply need to. And if you don't know who that might be, I'd be honored to be that for you. Reach out. I'm so honored to be a mentor, a guide, a coach, a friend to so many business owners now and witnessing them go to where they're going. Like I was talking to one of my clients today, and he's just really started mastering social media. And every day, because our team runs the social media for him. But he's taking care of all the messaging. He posts videos of himself. We just do the posts. If you also ever need social media support, me and my team can run your social media posts like graphics that we design. It's not AI created. We actually design them in Canva and you can add us to your Meta business profile, and we just post it all for you. So you can, yeah, not have to worry about that part of business. Have your socials set up for success. If you ever want that, please reach out. We can do it. We're doing this for this guy, and he's really working the system. We have some people who buy in that just are like, great, I don't do anything now on social media, which is not what we recommend. We recommend people still post videos, start messaging people, boost your content, connect with the people who like and comment, and actually start moving the social media whilst we take care of the posts. And so this guy is a legend. He does it all. And I love that my phone, I can just all the time see a new message pop up. Bing, 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 bing. It's awesome. It's truly, truly awesome to see that happening. And I was telling him today how proud I am of him. And to take on that level of responsibility to manage and help so many businesses at 25, almost 26 years old, I'm truly honored. And just because of my age doesn't mean I'm inexperienced. Starting this at 17 years old, I've dedicated my whole life. I didn't go out. I stayed in and did the work necessary. It was huge. It was really, really huge. So I'm so honored and grateful to have the portfolio of businesses that I get to guide under my wing now. And it all started from taking that leap and having those people, like I said, help me. So if you want to take the leap, you want to create life more on your terms, let me know. The first excuse that died in my head was I've got to live somewhere to make business happen there. And what I mean by that is so many of us think the only way we can earn money is in the local area of where we are. It's so not true. Through social media, through advertising, through technology, we can connect with anywhere, anyone in the world right now. Like, there's some terrible things happening at the moment in the world. And, like, for example, in Iran right now, and like Elon Musk is putting Starlink over there so we can connect with them in this horrible time and see the atrocities happening there. And it's a very, very powerful thing to be able to be there with them and then know that they need support right now. And so many of us can be accessing so many different people at so many different times that need your support. We can go and have a conversation with them. We can connect with them right now. If you've got a skill that can support somebody in an area, even if it's just bloody making coffee, you can help some people become coffee artists, start a coffee program. So much is possible in this day and age. You can, if I've been to plenty of places that have shit coffee, there's people who need to be taught how to make good coffee. That's for sure. The first excuse that died was the only way I can make money is locally. Ah, we live in an age where technology and us as human beings are so much more powerful than that. The difference between travel energy and leadership energy. Ooh, that's a big topic. So travel gives dopamine, leadership requires regulation. This is really, really big. And so that's where like another like homage to when you're traveling, it's not like a vacation, it's not a holiday. You've got to show up, you've got to lead. And like some of my favorite days last year when we moved to Bali were when we would smash out a day's work. I'd finish my meetings, Hannah would finish building all her digital assets, and we would go to the beach around 4:30 and we'd catch a sunset. And so life, you can lead in a way where you can go have those beautiful vacation-like moments. And even though Hannah and I a lot talk about how we can sometimes feel jealous, everyone's just carefree here in Bali. Well, a lot of people are carefree. and we're like super focused, super in, working our asses off to make the life on our terms happen and secure and sustainable. And we still can live that life. We still can enjoy ourselves. And it's it comes from that level of leadership. And it still has so many challenges. Like today, we're having a challenge at the moment with one of our guys on our team, and we're wanting him to be the best he can be. And how to do that, it's not always easy. It's not always like that. We've got to find a way on how we can both really do good things here. And we've got to stay regulated. We've got to find different ways, think differently, think outside the box to find a way to make that happen. So yeah, travel gives dopamine. Leadership requires regulation. Nice. Ooh, full topic. Why most people fall off after 3 to 6 months. And so usually this happens because if you didn't know this, it takes about 66 days for a habit to be formed. It's 21 days to get like that habit moving. 66 days it hardens. 90 days it starts to get really, really strong. And then 120 days, or no, sorry, 180 days, that habit has become like a neural pathway in your mind. And the problem with that, or not the problem, what's also happening here is if you're trying to create a new habit, you're going after it 3 months, 6 months, you've also got all your other neural pathways, all your other habits that you've been doing for such a long time fighting that. The parts of you that, like, let's say if you've started a business and you're not used to taking action at the level a business requires. And so you're used to maybe working and then just relaxing, working a few hours and relaxing, or start your study schedule was a bit like mine. As soon as I left school, I stopped. No more studying. If you want to run a business, you need to learn, you need to grow. And so if procrastinating, just pushing the snooze button is your habit and your behavior, you're going against that to create these new habits. And we're not all perfect. We're not always just going to be like, yeah, I'm always doing the best. But if we're really wanting to make things happen, we've genuinely got to practice things as hard as possible for 3 to 6 months. It's the reality. You know, this journey that's coming up to 8 years now in business. There's been times where I've been really up, there's been times where I've been down, and now I'm just like consistently sailing. And not every day is perfect, but we're up in the air. It feels good. Things are moving. It took 8 years to get here, though. So why most people fall off in 3 to 6 months is they have their first fall, they have their first failure, and they think it's all over. I can tell you now from falling, failing so many times, it is part of the process. Like we've got a really strong thing we're doing right now. 6 months from now, AI could come along and completely flip everything we're doing. And we've got to be ready for that. We've got to be prepared for that. And we've got to find a way to do what we want to do and keep moving forward. If we've got to rebrand, we've got to rebrand. If we've got to change, we've got to change. That's in us now. But for a lot of us, when we're starting things off, we bail out, we fall off. When I first came to Bali, I remember one of the biggest challenges I was driving my bike one night and a car crashed into me and I flew over. Had a really serious accident. Broke my shoulder, split my calf in half. It was really horrible. And it cost $20,000 because I just didn't have health insurance. I didn't have the right insurance for it. And so $20,000 in the hole whilst being overseas in a different country was so tough. That happened in July. of 2024. So yeah, not last year, the year before. And I was working my butt off to get back from that. That was so, so tough. Now, if this was my first 6 months in business, I would have gone home. I would have been back at mum and dad's house and I would have been running away from life completely. But because I had had the years and years of fighting, of showing up, doing what's required to make it, I had some of my best months in business that I'd ever had after that. Now, last year we completely smashed those months, so go us. But the point is, in that, like, there are going to be some heavy knocks that come our way. And we've got to determine if that's going to be the reason to bail out or lean in so much more. Even with your body split in half, your bank account empty, even in debt, are you gonna give up? Are you going to fight, grit your teeth, and find a fucking way? That is where success is determined. I trust you fucking feel me. So how I learned to anchor myself instead of relying on novelty, that's a really, really big one. I don't know if it's novelty exactly, but where I was at when I first moved out of Australia was I was addicted to a lot of different things that aren't available here in Bali. And at first, it was really, really cool because I was like, yeah, I get to be healthy. But then some other addictions crept in. I don't like to admit this, but I got into vaping and smoking cigars when I first came to Bali. And if you know me, I have a history of cancer, so I had a lot of shame about that. Now, probably one of the first times I've ever speaking about this publicly, and openly. And I really didn't like that that snuck into my life. And so, even when just being in a different country, the addictive mindset got to keep flowing, got to keep existing. And it was only until I met Hannah that that started to really change. I started to care more about my health. Because when we're on our own, it's easy to not self-anchor, get into that addictive state, and let ourselves just do various things. But when I was with someone who deeply loves me and deeply cares about me, she saw me doing things for myself that wasn't good. And so she helped me stop doing stuff like that and started having nicotine gum because I still like nicotine here or there, but makes my throat feel funny. So very rare. And I'm following Dr. Andrew Huberman. If you haven't checked out nicotine, particularly if you're a little bit older in life and your memory is becoming a little bit shot, not working as well, check out the benefits of nicotine. It's very, very interesting. Alex Hormozi is a big, like, what's the word there? Big supporter, let's say, of nicotine. And so, yeah, the point in this is learning to take care of myself and learning to do things right by going to different countries. It helped me get off really hard drugs I didn't like doing. Then I noticed how my addicted personality still was there. Thankfully, exploring the world even more, exploring connections, meeting Hannah, I got to further get to a place where I don't need drugs, I don't need alcohol to be me. I just like living life. I like enjoying my business and moving it forward, getting really great results, exploring the world, and really, and I like to say most importantly, um, making Hannah feel so loved and so happy. It means so much to me. So it feels good to be doing life well. And I would have never experienced the life I now have if I decided to live and stay safe in Australia. It's super important to go explore the world and expand our current position and take a risk and a bet on ourselves. If you want to build a business, you might have some money saved away. I dare you to go to a place like Bali, go to a place like Cambodia, Thailand. There's some really cheap places to live in Thailand. If you like marijuana though and you want to stay away from that kind of party scene, like I am, uh, maybe it's not the best for you. So a place like Cambodia, here in Bali, Indonesia, even Jakarta, Yogyakarta, go live there. Go be there and bet on your dream. Bet on yourself making it happen and have a go. There's so much that can lie ahead of you by going on this journey. And if that doubt comes up, that fear, great. I'm glad to know you're human. And go witness the capacity of yourself expand. Go see your potential flow from you by taking that risk, having that leap of faith. As someone who did this now, I get to say 3 years ago, I totally recommend it. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a structure. That was some motivation there. But for those who really want a logical pathway, I want to take care of you now. Systems that travel better than motivation are really, really important. And so we've got to have calendars, we've got to have communications. And a really big thing is plan out your jump, your leap. For months in my corporate job, every free opportunity I had, I was figuring out a way of how I could move and position myself internationally. Literally the first few months, every second I could, I'd be writing it down. This is what I could do. This is what I could do. This is what needs to happen. This is what I need to do in my business. This is what I need to do in my job. This is what I got to do in my life. I've got to pack this up, do this. Oh, this is where I want to move. This is what I want to do, and I planned it out. Spend some time doing it. I remember Joe Rogan talked about like planning your escape from quiet desperation. If you don't love your life right now, and there's a passion that you have in your heart that you want to do, that gives you the life you love, that helps you live life on your terms, plan it out every day. I like this phrase at the moment, mind your own business. This is your business to live life at the best you can. So plan it out, write it out, talk to AI about it, figure out what must happen, what you need to do to get where you want to go, and then fucking do it. Take the leap, take the chance, and make things happen. So what I would do is if I was doing it today, because back when I started, ChatGPT wasn't that strong at the time, but I would just talk it out with ChatGPT. What are all the things I need to do to go live in another country? What's the wisest amount of money I need to save? For me, I had $50,000 when I left. That was really nice, but I could have done it on 20. Because 20, I could have done it on 30, I should say. Because $20,000 was unfortunately gone to a, a freaking car crash. So get travel insurance, get health insurance wherever you are to protect you whilst you're in different places. Because if you're like me and you're from Australia, we have that comfort of Medicare. That's not that ain't overseas. So be sure to take care of yourself in that regard. And so 20 to $30,000 in your back pocket to go live in a place like Bali, Cambodia, Thailand, Fiji. It's a really, really good setup. Even Japan. So I want to end it on this as well. Oh my God, the opportunity to live in Japan has never been more available. And Hannah's telling me not to talk about this, but I'm talking about it. You can't hear me right now, I'm doing it. She just gave me the thing. In Japan right now, there are some homes that are literally being given away for free. There's 8 million vacant homes. And so what we can do, all foreigners can go there because Japan's laws of foreigners buying homes is, yeah, it's all good. Definitely have somebody that can help you that knows English and Japanese if you want to do something like this. But there's all across Japan, there's so many homes that you could go live in right now that for some of them, they might give it away for free, which means you've got to pay a gift tax of like between like 5 and 10% of the home, which means that if you're moving into a $30,000 home and you got to pay 10%, it's going to be 3,000, about $3,000 to live there, which to own a home and land for $3,000 is crazy. And not only that, $30,000 home in Japan can be a 3-bedroom house, which is crazy. A plan that we're thinking of doing is getting five $20,000 homes, putting that on a mortgage, and across 30 years, that's going to be $250 paid back every month. Holy moly. And then you make those 5 homes ready for people to move into, perfect for a family to come live in. You do it, and then boom, you're earning maybe it's $700 a month, $500 a month, and you're paying that back for all of your homes based on one home. And so you can build these houses up to be perfect and start a real estate portfolio in Japan. Holy moly. If you're not from Japan and just hearing this for the first time, stuff like this is everywhere. We're helping a lady. There's a fund in Malaysia that businesses must pay for training. So if you want to become a trainer, you want to become a speaker, you want to help deliver events that help people in different areas in corporate business, they must pay this. They must pay this in Malaysia. It's part of the law. And so you can take an advantage of that. It's like there's a fund right now that people need trainers, speakers to come in and train on all different things about human behavior, business, team, leadership, AI, whatever you really dig, whatever's your thing. There's literally a fund where people will pay for it. There's a guy that does pottery. He goes to businesses and teaches them pottery. And there's like a human behavior, spiritual element to it. And it's taken out of that fund. I can't think of the name right now, but research it in Malaysia. It's very, very powerful. So there's so many different opportunities around the world based on different laws, different uh, legislation, different environments that allows you to do things that you might have never thought possible. I'm so excited to see where this year takes us because last year was one of the best years of my life. And I trust this year is going to be even better. That's how I want to live my life. Each year just gets better and better and better. And I invite you to go on that journey for yourself. Take the leap of faith and create something remarkable and outstanding. So that's it for me. I've had a lot of fun for this episode of Global Influence. We're moving it from a podcast to just the global influence. And I trust you're getting a lot out of this. It's really awesome to present this show, present this episode, and talk and express myself in the way I have. So if you're hearing this right now, I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. You're a global leader, either already or in the making. I'm excited to see the life you live and lead.